Hello, my name is Nanit, and today we are gonna program a leap year project. The goal of our program is to take in the year the user inputs and output whether that year is a leap year or not. The conditions for a leap year are that every 4 years is a leap year, with an exception of every 100 years, with an exception of every 400 years. Meaning the year 2024 is a leap year, however the year 1900 is not a leap year, however the year 2000 is a leap year. To start our program, we need to take the user inputs. First, we can define our variable year, as we can save the user inputted year into this variable, and we can define year as the inputs. And when we run this, we'll get the option to input a year. The input works, and since we haven't done anything else, that's all. However, there's a big problem with this. Whenever we're dividing by 400 or 400 to check whether the year is a leap year or not, we're using math. And when we're using math, we can't use math with strings. We can only use math with integers or floats. So whenever we take an input, we're converting it into a string, meaning we have to convert it back to an integer so that we can do basic math with it. So we can use the integer typecasting function, or the int typecasting function, to convert this into an integer so that we can do math with the year. Next is our actual functionality. We can use conditional statements to figure out whether the year is a leap year or not. So we can say if year modulo 4 is equal to 0, which means is the year divisible by 4, and year modulo 100 is not equal to 0, and year modulo 400 is equal to 0. Now there's a big problem with this if statement, but I'll come back to that later on. We can print this is a leap year, print this is not a leap year. So we're gonna run this. We're gonna input a year, say 1900. 1900 is not a leap year as it's divisible by 100. Let's try this again. Let's input this year, 2024. Sorry. Yeah. 2024. Wait, 2024 is a leap year, so why does it say it's not a leap year? Well, that's because we said and year modulo 400 is supposed to equal 0. Basically, what happens is it checks whether 2024 is divisible by 4, which it is, and whether it's not divisible by 100, which it is, and whether it's divisible by 400, which it's not. And whenever we have one false, even one false, makes the entire statement false when we have ands. So instead of using an and, we can use an or. And what this will do is that if we run this again, we can input 2024 and get this is a leap year. We can try this again with, say, year 2000, and this is also a leap year. Even though it's divisible by 100, we also have to consider the fact it's divisible by 400. Now there's a simpler way of writing this. Rather than writing the equal to 0, we can remove all this. And we can simply write not. Now what this is going to do is when we input this, it's going to say it's a leap year. It works. And when we say, let's say we say 1900, this is not a leap year. What we did here was instead of saying the equal to 0, we just simply removed that and put not, or we just didn't use a not. Why is that? Well, whenever we have year modulo 4 equal to 0, that's basically saying when year modulo 4 is equal to false. And not a false is true. We can use that true, and then we can say and we don't have to put the not here because it's year modulo 100 not equal to 0, and 0 is false. So we don't have to use the not here. And since we have equal to 0, which is false, we can say or not, because if you want to convert to true, you have to use not. So this works the same way, and that's the end of it. That's our leap year project. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again.